So I'm coming at you with the most ridiculous looking hair. It's not wet. It is actually full of oil, Ayurvedic oil. I just had a most lovely, transcendent Abhyanga, Champi face massage and a complimentary belated birthday shirodara from my dear friend Misa at Wild Lotus Ayurveda. If you're in the city, please go visit her. But as for those of you who don't know, shirodara is where they pour gorgeously warm oil over your third eye, and then it all pours back into your hair. So if you have a lot of hair, as I do, the cleanup can take almost as long as the service itself and the treatment, which is why I don't typically get it with my Abhyanga, because I just don't feel like dealing with the cleanup. But it is really lovely to experience, and I did have a most transcendent time. But while I was experiencing it, I was reminded of something that I think about a lot in my singing, in my spiritual practice, in my somatic practices. And I think that the metaphor, because it's really not just a metaphor, it's rudimentary physics that then we extend to metaphor because it applies to all of these different applied activities and more broadly, I think in life, is this concept of elastic recoil, or the rebound effect of how to mitigate pressures within a system, whether that be the body or, a broader thing. And in lay terms, what is that? It's really rhythm. And it's so fascinating because all of these ancient healing modalities actually are working with rhythm. They're trying to use just like a pulsation or a stroke or pressure in a rhythmic way to induce a more copacetic or balanced state of your own internal rhythm. And so we see this in, obviously, Abhyanga, which uses these beautiful long strokes. In India, it would traditionally be done with two practitioners. But it's true in acupressure, or acupressure in Ayurveda is called marma. Oof, have I had some beautiful experiences on marma. Gone out to the heavens. It's also true though in acupuncture, as we traditionally know it from Chinese medicine, right? We're creating a different flow of energy, so to change the internal rhythm of your state. But it's shiatsu in the Japanese system. It's different than like a Western massage, which is going to fix something or iron something out. It's different than even rolfing, as much as I love rolfing, which is looking at how do we, mitigate adhesions and whatnot in the fascia. But it's similar, if we're thinking of Western practices, to like craniosacral, which is listening to the rhythm of the cranial fluid, or even to something like lymphatic drainage, which is, using rhythmic pulsations to get that specific flow within the body to flow, more efficiently. And everything is rhythm. We talk about this a lot in acting, in music. It's sometimes said that we wouldn't have music without rhythm, because what is rhythm? There are infinite permutations of rhythm. And in a 12-tone Western scale, there's really only so many permutations of notes you can have. I don't fully agree with that because of lots of different augmentations that you can do with music and whatnot. But it is true that there are just so many possibilities in an empirical sense, in a musical sense, of what we can do with rhythm. But really, rhythm is awareness, which is to say it's one of the most visceral ways we can become aware of being aware of consciousness. Ram Dass referred to awareness as God, as like the living God. What is God? It's awareness. And it's such a fun thing that you can do with yourself. It's powerful because you walk down the street and you're aware of your own internal rhythm. Am I feeling this? Am I feeling that? Is my heart rate, racing, or is it simple and slow? And then how does that relate to the pace of the person walking beside me? How does that relate to the decibel level of the siren? How does it relate to the play of the wind on my face? These are all rhythms which make up the gestalt of the moment, of our own experience of beingness in a given moment. And so if you're curious about how the physics of anything is the physics of everything, how elastic recoil affects your breath practice, your meditation practice, your singing practice if you have one, certainly a dance practice if you have one, but also the metaphysics of a life that is looking to be as easeful and effortless as possible, which is what we strive for in a Vedic meditation practice, but by extension, our life writ large, let me know, because it's something that I am endlessly fascinated by, and I would love to, in workshop or some setting, explore it more, because there are really physical ways in which we can play with pressure and play with hopping and jumping and learning about these core physics tenets that really have both practical and metaphorical application throughout our lives.